Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shed if this is your first time here, and today we're going to be talking about the most basic items for someone that wants to start their own makeup kit. So if you're new to the makeup world and you're like, oh my god, where do I start? Like, I wanted to kind of just put the basic things in here for you, just so that it makes it a little bit easier when you're shopping and these Sephora girls don't overwhelm you. So I'll start off with the most basic items that I think every girl that wants to start wearing makeup should have in her kit, and then we'll gradually move up into something that's a little bit more advanced. And then you guys can basically pick and choose from the advanced items which part you want to keep or not keep and all that. So enough rambling, because I can do a lot of that, so we will just jump right in. So if you are someone that obviously is very new to this and you don't know where to start, I would recommend starting with something like a concealer. If you have good skin, you don't really need foundation to start off with. You can leave that for a little bit later on, but I think every girl should have concealer on her just because it acts just as good as a foundation. Like today, for example, I'm not wearing any foundation, so you don't need foundation to have like a nice looking makeup look. So I believe concealer for me is way more key than foundation, especially if you're someone that doesn't really have like issues with their skin and spots and all that. Then you can just get away with this. So the reason why I think it's important to have concealer on you is the fact that you can use it as almost like foundation. So in the sense that, for example, if you do have a spot here or there, or you've got scarring, or for example for me, I've got darker pigmentation on my upper lip, I just use the concealer to go over my upper lip, and then obviously also underneath my eyes to kind of just even out the tone, get rid of the darkness, get rid of the lack of sleep, you know. So concealer for me is something that I think is very, very useful and handy to have. It also works really well to clean up any mistakes you've made with your makeup as well. So in the sense that if you mess up with your eyebrows, you can put a bit of this on the back of your hand with a brush and then just clean it up to make your eyebrows look neater. You can use it to fix your lip line if you mess it up. So for me, concealer is one of those things that I think is more key than foundation, because foundation will give you good heavy coverage to cover up like your overall base, but you can't really use foundation as a concealer for your under eye. And eyes are like the most key thing when it comes to makeup. So you want to focus on eyes and then move your way down, if that made any sense. I don't know if that made any sense, but anyways, so for me, that's the reason why I would say start off with a concealer. So when it comes to buying the concealer, you want to buy something that's very, very similar to your shade. Again, because of the fact that you will want to use this on areas where you have darker spots or hyperpigmentation or whatever, you don't want to use something that's too light, because then it will end up looking gray once you apply it on your face. So despite what all these Instagram girls keep saying and showing, and with all the bright colors underneath the eyes, when it comes to concealing, it needs to be your shade. So for example, for me in Fenty, I use a shade 380, and I'm able to use this above my upper lip without it looking gray, and I can use it underneath my eyes, I can use it on my spots, I can use it whatever, and it fits my skin. Like you guys can see, it fits me perfectly. So you want to go and buy a concealer that's your shade. The reason why people use a lighter color concealer underneath the eyes, because they are going for the highlighted look, which is a completely different thing that we're not going to get into right now, because again, we're doing the basics. So the moral of the story is, get yourself a concealer, start with a concealer, and then go into the foundation later on. Or if you want, you can go ahead and get the foundation now as well, which again is the same theory as the concealer. Obviously buy something that's your shade. And yeah, but for me, I would say concealer, it probably honestly is more key than foundation, just because I stopped wearing foundation every day unless I'm doing like a super glam video or like a special occasion. But day to day, even today, I'm not wearing any foundation. So concealer is what you need. So if you're gonna use concealer, then you need its best friend, which is gonna help you blending it out, which is the Beauty Blender. So Beauty Blender, honestly, like I've spoken about it in my video on my Instagram page about the key brushes and items you need in order to have a flawless makeup look. And Beauty Blender for me is like, if it's not in my makeup bag, I'm like, what do I do? Like it's such a key item. It helps with blending your foundation, your concealer, everything so perfectly. So if you use a beauty blender, it makes it so much easier for you to blend everything out without seeing where anything started and finished. In the sense that, so when you're done, especially because if you're not going to be wearing foundation, when you're done with blending out this bit, then you can use the back of the beauty blender to blend it out even more, to make sure that it's not visible where your concealer started and where like the rest of your face is bare. So beauty blender is honestly the key item you need to have if you're going to be using any kind of concealer, foundation, any of that stuff. You need a beauty blender. So this goes hand in hand with the concealer. This item It's technically one of the advanced, but I would recommend buying even if you're not like that advanced, because when you're using liquid products, especially products in areas that tend to crease and move around like foundations and concealer, you need to set them in place. So with the eye area, usually everyone, well, not everyone, depending on how young you are, but most people have an issue with creasing underneath their eyes. So if you use a concealer without setting it in place, what you'll end up having is massive like lines underneath your eyes, because everything would have just moved, and then the gaps where your creases are really highlighted. So what I would recommend is that you invest in a product like the Laura Mercier translucent powder. This powder honestly is amazing, especially if you're someone that also has oily skin. Like, you can take this even if you're not wearing foundation, you can take this on any kind of bigger fluffy brush and just go over, for example, I should probably do that from my forehead. You can go over your forehead and like get rid of the shine. You can go on your nose. You can use it to go over the smile lines to also avoid the cracks from your foundation and concealer. So the way I like to use it is I also use the beauty blender for this. As usual, my beauty blender is extremely dirty because I keep forgetting to wash my stuff before I do these videos. But what you want to do is take your beauty blender, dip it in, and then just dab it into the area where you applied the concealer. Do not apply too much of this product, because a little goes a long way with it. And the way I like to use it, like I said, is with the beauty blender, and make sure the beauty blender is damp. So keep dabbing in the beauty blender into the powder until you can no longer see the powder, and your concealer will not move. It will stay where you want it to stay, and it's amazing. So I would recommend investing in a product like the translucent one from Laura Mercier. There's a lot of loose powders. There's a Fenty, Huda Beauty, all of that, but I honestly love the Laura Mercier one just because I find that it's the least drying, and I just love it. And I don't do the baking method anymore, just because my eyes, obviously as you get older, you have more creasing and more dryness, so I no longer dry up my eyes like that. So I just put it on and immediately dab it in. I don't leave it to set and bake and all that. I don't, no, I'm not about that life anymore. Next item that I think every girl should have, and this honestly changes the way your entire face looks, is the brow products. So I'm obsessed with the Benefits precisely my brow pencil. This is bomb. The color of this is so nice. It's what I used on my eyebrows today. I just love the product. I used the number 6, which is the darkest, I think, and it's so good because of the fact that it's so thin. And it just makes it so easy to draw like hairline strokes. I will be doing like a updated eyebrow tutorial on how I do my brows soon, but this product here honestly is amazing. Again, just like with the loose powder, there's so many brands out there, but for me, this is the creamiest, but not too creamy out of the eyebrow pencils. It's not too drying, doesn't pull out my own eyebrow hair while I'm drawing it in. It's just perfect. And it comes with a spoolie on the other end, which obviously makes your job even easier. So this brow pencil is amazing, and you need to get one now. Next item that goes hand in hand with it, it's the 24-hour brow setter. So this is kind of something that you don't need if you have brows that are like easily tamed, in the sense that your brows are clean and shaped and they don't really go all over the place. But if you have eyebrows like mine that curl like this, I need a product like this in order to hold them in place. So this is like a gel. It's basically the same idea as a gel, and you just brush it into your hair, and then your hair does not move. It's amazing. So this for me, I always use with this. They're amazing. But again, if you're someone that has good eyebrows, they're like muhtarameen and bisma al-kalam, and they stay in their place, then you only need this guy here. But if you are like me and you have gilat adab eyebrows, then you can go ahead and get these two together, and they'll go very, very well together. So while we're talking about this region here, I'm gonna move into something that might seem extremely obvious, but you know, for the sake of this video, I'm gonna mention it as mascara. Obviously, mascara is something that, you know, opens up your eyes, and just, you know, for me, like mascara is like like more than an eyeliner. With eyeliner, I personally never use black eyeliner on my eyes unless I'm doing like a glammed up look or with lashes or whatever, just because if you are someone that has smaller eyes, it will just close them up even more. So I don't really recommend using eyeliner in the waterline unless you're doing like a full look, because otherwise it just, for me personally, I find that it looks so weird when people use black eyeliner in the waterline and that's it. Like, where's the rest of your face? Well, I just stopped there. For me, I feel like you need to use mascara way more than eyeliner because it will open up your eyes and will just give you like that really nice natural, like I woke up like this kind of look. So mascara for me, way more of a priority than eyeliner. So my favorite mascara is a Too Faced mascara, Better Than Sex or Better Than Love if you live in halal places. My second favorite mascara, which is the only one I have on me right now, is the Nars Climax mascara. I love this mascara as well. And if you're looking for something more drugstore, L'Oreal also does amazing mascaras. I think they're the best out of the drugstore. So these are the options that you also have for mascara. Okay, now we're done with this region. We're gonna move down a bit. If you're going to be using concealer, foundation, whatever, any kind of product where you take away some of the natural colors in your face, you need to add some color back in. What I mean is that you have the option of either using a blush or a bronzer. So if you're someone that really wants to just keep it very basic and go for like a super natural look, then I would recommend getting yourself a bronzer. I have here the Fenty Coco Naughty bronzer. This is amazing. So whenever I kind of want to go for like a really natural, no makeup look, or like, especially for work, like because you don't want to look like you put too much effort for work. Bronzer is honestly amazing and it's so good to have. And it's something that kind of goes with all the lipsticks as well, because then we'll get into the nitty gritty of what I mean, but basically bronzer is really good to have on you, and it adds color back into your face. So you can use this with any kind of bigger brush. Use a bigger brush like this one, dab it in, and then just kind of like work it around your face in circular motion. And this will kind of add more color back into your face and give you like a nice natural like a glow, like a color that you need back in your face, especially if you've used concealer and foundation, because then otherwise you look so bland if you use concealer and then just walk out the door. You need to add some kind of color back into your face. So for me, I would recommend starting off with a bronzer if you're someone that likes a super natural look. So if you're someone that wants a little bit more color on the face, or if you tend to do a little bit more of like a glamorous makeup look with your lipsticks and all that, then I would recommend purchasing some blushes. So with blush, my favorite brand when it comes to blushes are MAC Cosmetics. MAC for me was the only brand that I had available when I was in New Zealand that had any kind of colors for my skin tone. So ever since I was a kid, I had no option but to buy MAC Cosmetics. Until this day, I love their blushes and I think they're the best. You kind of want to have a look at your lipstick, because with blush, it does matter what lipstick you wear with it. Because if you don't want to go with, for example, a crazy pink blush, if you're wearing a red lipstick, because then you will look crazy and you will look very clownish. So you want to have a look at what kind of lipstick you're wearing that day. So for me, whenever I wear nude lipsticks, that's when I will use a pink blush. So the blushes that I would recommend to buy, one of my favorites is Fever from MAC. So this blush, as you can see, is very pink and it's really nice to use whenever I use like a nude lipstick. So if you like Velvet Teddy, Jubilee, Yash, all those kind of lipsticks, this looks really nice with it, because again, when you wear a nude lipstick, you don't want to look too bland, so it's nice to add a little bit of color in your cheeks, and this just looks amazing with it. So I would recommend to go with Fever from MAC as a basic pink blush. Next, if you're someone that likes more of the brighter colors, or you know, you like more of peachy colors and all that, then I would also recommend to purchase the color Raizin. So this is the color that I'm wearing today. It's very like orangey. It's coming off as pink on camera, but it's a very peachy orangey color. It's really nice to use when you don't want too much color on the cheeks. So it's just because today I'm wearing a pink lipstick, so I don't want to look too crazy. So I put a little bit of this on my cheek, and it's very nice, very subtle. So for me, Raizin is also a really nice blush to have. So these are the kind of blushes that I would recommend. Another blush that I would recommend that kind of goes with almost all lipsticks is Sweet as Cocoa. Sweet as Cocoa does have a little bit of glitter in it, so you want to be very careful with this one because you don't want to be too glittery on the cheek. So Sweet as Cocoa is also a really nice blush to have. And if you're like feeling extra, then I also have this blush that I really like. It's very pink as well. It's called Love Thing. So nice, so pink, very like girly. Like if you use this, it again has very light gold reflexes in it, so it adds like a little bit of shimmer to your cheek. But I love this lipstick at night if I'm wearing like a nice gloss with it. It's like oof, very nice. The next item that I think is also extremely key, and I'm like, what are you doing if you don't have it, is a lip liner. So I have a lot of lip liners. Obviously I'm not going to bring them all out here, but for me, Chestnut from MAC is an amazing lip liner to have. I wear this almost with all my lipsticks. It's a very nice dark brown color. I'll do swatches in here as well. It's a very nice dark brown color. It looks amazing with very like nudish lipsticks. And then you can draw like in the outer line, dab until you bring it to the center, and then apply your lipstick in the middle. Gorgeous. So for me, Chestnut is really nice. If you're someone that's my skin tone, a little bit lighter, you also have Cork, which is the same idea but lighter. It's a light, like a dark, it's a medium dark brown, which again, very gorgeous. So if you use this one with Velvet Teddy, gives you that really nice, like really pretty nude lipstick look. So Cork or Chestnut for me are key lip liners. For any dark skin girl, you need to have Chestnut, especially Chestnut. Chestnut is honestly just amazing. You can wear it with darker colors, lighter colors. You can wear it with reds and do that ombre look. So Chestnut is bombdiggity.com. Now the next two items are the items that I would like to consider a little bit more advanced. They're not that advanced, but they're just not as key as the items that I just discussed for a beginner. So the first item I'm going to talk about is contouring. For a beginner, I would always recommend starting off with contour powder. Cream contour, liquid contour is actually quite difficult to use in the sense that it's really easy to get messy with it. So start off with a powder contour like this one. So this one is from the brand called Sleek. It's amazing. I have the shade medium here, and I like to use it with an angled brush like this, dab it in, and then just work into the cheekbones and give myself that chiseled out look, jawline if I had too much pizza. And then you can use the same brush here and then go down your nose and give yourself a contoured look. So if you're new to contouring, always go with a powder. Much easier to work with, much easier to control. And again, always start off with like small amount and then work yourself up, because it's so much easier to add more than it is to take it off. So it's the same theory with the blush, highlighter, whatever. Apply a little bit more and then add more, but don't start off heavy and then you're like, oh shit, how do I get this off? So especially with contouring, you don't want to look crazy. Apply a little bit. If it's okay, leave it. If you need a bit more, go on top. My battery is about to die, so I'm going to speed through this. The last item I'm going to discuss today is highlighter. For me, where I'm at with makeup, for me, highlighter is like something that I just love now. But again, for a beginner, you might not need it. But highlighter is something that just gives you like a really nice glow with your makeup. So I'm wearing this one here today. It's from Becca Cosmetics. Oh, this has to be my favorite powder highlighter. This one is just so nice and very finely, I don't know what the word is, finely, it's just fine. Like, it's not like big chunks of highlighter. It's like, I don't know if you guys can see it, like it's so natural, so beautiful. I love this color. The color that I have here is Topaz. It's amazing. I love Becca highlighters. So you can use a highlighter obviously to apply on your cheekbones, a little bit on the button nose or whatever they call it, and on your brow, and then just connect it to your cheekbone. So you can use highlighter to add that extra glow to your makeup look if you want, but if you don't, you're okay with the bronzers and blushes, and that's more than enough. I think I've spoken about everything I want to speak to you about today. So anyways, these are the key makeup items that I think any beginner that wants to enter the makeup world should have. Comment below if you think I've missed something that you also think is key, because sometimes you guys also have really good tips that are, I'm like, huh, I didn't think about that. So comment below and let me know if you guys found this video useful or not. Please do make sure that you have subscribed. I think it's down there. I still need to learn where to point. Make sure you've subscribed. It's for free, so make sure you subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up if you find it useful, and make sure you send it to your friend if you know that she wants to enter the makeup world and she's overwhelmed. Send her this video and hopefully you guys will find it useful. Anyways, enough rambling. My camera's about to die. I will see you guys next time. Bye. You actually cannot see where your what the fuck? And you need to have لو سمحت. No, sit still. Blends it. It helps with blending out the process. I feel like I'm like that kid. Would you wanna own it, own it? So you can use this, and then when, oh my god, I am here.